This was the most desperate mission for the Navy SEALs, because their target this time was a former Navy SEALs captain with extensive experience and outstanding combat achievements. As the helicopter flew overhead, the man, a former Navy SEALs captain, not only failed to conceal his whereabouts but also turned on his cell phone, deliberately revealing his location signal. However, when the team rushed over, they found no trace of the man. Little did they know that they had already fallen into his trap. By the time they saw the cell phone on the ground, it was too late. The man had used a flashbang, and while everyone was dazed, he immediately rose from the pile of fallen leaves, tackled a Navy SEAL, grabbed his backpack, and successfully escaped into the smoke. He then ran into the woods and activated a battery to create a heat source to disrupt their thermal signal tracking. As a former Navy SEALs captain, he was well versed in all their tactics. Although his decoy wouldn't last long, it would buy him precious time to escape. However, at that moment, the man's brain tumors suddenly flared up, and the intense dizziness almost caused him to faint. This brief delay allowed the pursuing Navy SEALs team to catch up, and he could only force himself to run up the mountain. Nevertheless, the man was not ready to give up. He could not be captured before he had his revenge. He continued to run toward the mountaintop, only to be shocked to find a 100-meter cliff ahead with no way forward. At the same time, the pursuing Navy SEALs team was rapidly closing in on him. With no other choice, he picked up a sniper rifle and pointed it at the Navy SEALs below. With a single pull of the trigger, he could have taken them out. But facing these former comrades in arms, the man ultimately couldn't bring himself to fire. After all, they were just following orders. Soon, the Navy SEALs team reached the top of the mountain. But when they got there, they found nothing but the 100-meter cliff and no sign of the man. At that moment, one of the team members spotted a standing bullet, which meant that the man could have killed them. What they couldn't have imagined was that the man had actually climbed down the nearly vertical cliff face. But as he neared the bottom, an intense pain in his injured shoulder caused him to lose his grip and fall. Fortunately, he wasn't too far from the ground, but the wound on his shoulder was torn open, bleeding profusely. By nightfall, he found a cave to rest in, where he also treated his shoulder wound, checked his remaining supplies, and prepared for the next phase of his mission.